Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2023 Nile Special Rugby Premier League. It is the opening afternoon here at Legends Rugby Club. 14-time champions, the Kampala Old Boys Cobs, are taking on the newly promoted lads, the Walukuba. It is a bit of a tough challenge and a tough start to Walukuba's second campaign in the top flight. Just by the look of the numbers, Cobs have won more championships than Walukuba have won games. But as it stands 0-0, about 10 minutes into the first half, Walukuba are putting up a good fight thus far. Ogena to the blind side finds Daudi Semwami for the first try. Easy peasy stuff for the Cobs, and Daudi Semwami is over in the corner. Cobs known for that strong scrummage, and they make use of it, breaking off as quickly as he could, Ogena, and that looping basketball pass to find the blindside winger Semwami for the first try of the game. Cobs lead 5-0, conversion to come. This is one of the 5 matches that are being played in the championship today. The big one, of course, coming at Kings Park in Boyogere, where at halftime the hosts, the Black Pirates, were leading by 19 points to 10 against the defending champions Heathens, as Karim Arinait slots the extras for Cobs to extend their lead to 7 points to 0. In the other matches, Impis have made the longest trek, I could say, out of town, traveling to Jinja to face the Hippos. Buffaloes are hosting Rhinos in what Captain Wilfred Seguya called a honey affair at Shadondo. And the Rams made their way to the lakeside peninsula of Entebbe to take on the Mongers. Bob Kawanda for the Walukuba Barbarians to get the restart going. He was one of the standout performers in the just concluded 7 series, where Walukuba unfortunately were relegated, but he was such good performer, especially at the Chabazinga Sevens, where he was named the most valuable player. But I could say this is a bit too early for some commentators' curses as he overcooks that restart kick, giving Cobs a scrummage at the halfway line. Another rolling and driving scrummage from the Cobs. Ogena for Joseph Aredo on the switch. And Gonzalo Mayanja has called them back for the scrummage. Trying my level best to understand this call here. Not sure why the scrummage has been awarded. Was there a knock forward in an attempted intercept? This is now setting up for the third scrummage where Cobs have been dominant and expected to be dominant in this set piece. Again, Ogena, but this time leaves it behind. And it's picked up by the halfback. And then again to the Cobs, finding space on the outside is Karima Rinaitwe. The try line is beckoning. He goes for that up and under. Does Ian Munyani find it? The man called Baby Giraffe had to make a lot more effort than his opposite man to ground that ball, but he was second best in that contest. Losing the ball forward and gifting Walukuba a get out of jail free card. And it's going to be a goal line dropout for the Barbarians. Long and in the air. Fumbled a little bit by Ibrahim Kemisi. Throws a long pass out to Aredo. And now the try scorer, Daudi Semwami, dancing. But not able to find that space through the line. Picked up by Jude Juko. Cobs on the edge. Wilobo Mukili picking it from his ankles. Finds Simon Makumbi. To the back door now. Munyani. Long ball out wide to Seven's teammate Karima United, cutting back in, but is manhandled by Bob Kawanda. Cobs into the 22. It's a third phase of play. Not the best of passes from Masendi, but it finds Collins Chimbo, who offloads it to Mukiri. The back door again, the backs this time in full flow. Joseph Aredo had men outside, didn't use them. But now Ogena at the edge. Cheeky offload in contact there for Juko. Slow ball and onto the blind side. Semwami loses that ball in contact. And we shall have our first consultation from the referee here. Gonzaga Mayanja. I think he's making his message clear to the Walukuba Barbarians captain that they are giving away one too many infringements. Another scrummage, another Cobs feed, this time deeper into the Walukuba territory. Same outcome as before. The Cobs scrummage finding that power and space on the blind side. Ogena going himself and finds the whitewash. Cobs extend their lead today to 12-0 against the Walukuba Barbarians, who seem to have no answers for that scrummage. And to be honest, one would be asking a lot from the Walukuba Barbarians tight five, especially with Edward Emiemu at hook, the under-20 international, with his front row. But they will need that stability, that power from the back through Dennis Ikendi and Alphonse Otieno on the second row to give them that push against a really, really experienced Cobs front row of Collins Chimboa and Jude Juko. Karim Arenaitwe again splits the uprights of his right boot. And as expected, this is going to be a high-scoring game from the horse. About 15 minutes in, and they have 14 points on the board. Bob Kawanda for the restart. This time makes amends with his kick. The youngster Humphrey Olauna is under it. But it's well gathered by Ian Munyani, the baby giraffe. On to Jude Juko, a muscle man from Namiliango, big ball carrier. And now the back's in full flow. Josiah Sempeke, ball in two hands, is cutting and slicing through. The Walukuba defense now behind the gain line. Was that ball lost forward by Masendi? Yes, it was. It was messy. The Walukuba Barbarians made it as messy as they could, and they have earned that turnover. First scrum feed for the team from Ginger, the second team from Ginger in this championship. They, alongside Ginger Hippos, have to travel more than 9 times outside Kampala for their away games. The other team that is outside Kampala is the Mongas, just 30 kilometers towards Lake Victoria in Entebbe. As we see across, Adrian Casito and Justin Kimono already warming up. Cobs are meaning business here today, aren't they? Kohath Musana to feed. And I think that's interesting positioning from Robert Masendi. The number 9 is supposed to stay just close to that scrummage, but he has found some space about 2 or 3 meters away and is gunning straight for his opposite man. But the Barbarians maintain possession. Kawanda now puts it to boot, and well fielded by Ibrahim Kemis, who is isolated but breaks that first tackle. He's not able to break the second one. He's moving on the floor. And Shakim Sembusi gives away a penalty. At that breakdown, Kemis had numbers, but then he was not able to release his teammates into space. Sembusi, first man at that breakdown, first to arrive, good contest, but then he put his hands on the floor first, not supporting body weight. And Cobs will be lucky that that kick by Josiah Sempeke was able to find touch. It was not the best of efforts from the left-footed kicker, but he has been gifted a line out just outside the 22. Jude Juko to throw. Cobs shaping up for a 4-man line out. The jumping options are Pius Ogena and Derek Tukwasibwe, one of the standout players from the last 15 season and the Uganda Cup for the Blue Army. To the front at the number 2 position, Humphrey Olauna in his 3rd season for the Cobs. And now the backs running the blind was Joseph Aredo. Ian Munyani, ball in 2 hands, finds a short ball to Ibrahim Kemis. Cobs just 5 meters away. Recycled. Collins Chimboa needs an ankle tap to bring him down now. Santos. And now Ian Munyani running from one wing to the other, finds Pius Ogena. Derek Tukwasibwe again. There's numbers on the blind side, but the forwards look like they've got their eyes locked. And has it been lost on the floor there? Oh, yes, it has. Trying to figure out who that was. But it surely was one of the big boys from the team in blue, the Cobs. Yes, it was Saul Chivumbi, the Uganda international, with very many hours under his belt at that front row. Perhaps he can make amends with that scrimmage. Musana feeds, but then it's stolen by the Cobs. Pius Ogena, has he scored? Gonzalo Mayanja says he's holding on to the ball. Ogena might have been too eager to score that try. And he has held on to that ball on the floor. Semwami on the loop, but is brought down by Kawanda. Offloads beautifully off the floor. Now Karima Inaitwe. Sempeke with a red on the outside. Does not use him. Takes to the floor. Straight to Derek Kwasibwe, and now to Makumbi, who now finds Saul Chivumbi. Saul Chivumbi has Ogena on the outside. Ogena has Juke on the outside, but didn't use him. And is brought down just inside the 22. Walukuba Barbarians have not had a single foray into the Cobs half. But Cobs are now back into the into their red zone territory. Simon Makumbi gives a bit of a groundnut pass to his own teammate. And he could only lose it forward. The Barbarians slow ball off that rock. Playing inside their 22. It's dangerous territory here. That was Shakim Sembusi, homegrown in Walukuba, and the ball has been turned over by the Cobs, but that's an infringement at that breakdown. Gonzalo Mayanja says, player not releasing, as we have a citation for, I think, what is a suspected head knock for the Walukuba Barbarians. Number 9, the youngster Kohath Musana, does not look to be in his best shape.
If nothing is going on, you can relax. Don't come back to relax now if nothing is going on. Go to Ula. Relax at Ula.
And just an update from across the Nile in Jinja. The Jinja Hippos have struck fast against Impis. They lead 7-0. I think there must have been Dennis Etwao from the updates that we are getting from across. And as the Pirates' lead has been trimmed to just 6 points by the Heathens, it's now 19-3. Deep into the second half. Buffaloes, through Aaron Tukey, the Nile Special Sevens Series MVP, are leading against the Rhinos by 7-0. And we keep searching on for some updates from Entebbe, where the Mongas are taking on the Rams. Back to the action here at Legends Rugby Grounds. The Barbarians have opted to do a quick restart, and it's Dennis Wakai making that quick restart and carrying it straight into contact for the Barbarians. The ball looks like it's open. The Barbarians will need to be more careful with how they maintain possession. And the Miemo knocking it forward, puts it to boot. But it's not fielded well by Ibrahim Kemis, so the advantage will be lost. And play return to that breakdown at just outside the 10-meter territory in the Walukuba Barbarians half.
I don't have. My English is not that clever.
It has been a lonely spot here in the commentary. It's not a booth exactly, but some commentary space. It's been lonely here, but I'm joined by Cobs fan Joshua Mirondo. We'll be getting him to share a few words with us on how he's feeling ahead of the start of this new season. Cobs have 14 championships. Do you think they will be able to clinch their 15th beginning today against the Barbarians?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ernest. I think, okay, according to the way the game is going, you know, it's a slow start. We are just coming from the break. But as time goes by, we shall gain momentum, and I believe that Cobs will really win this. And I'm basing on what happened at the end of the Uganda Cup last season. One of the only team actually I fear in this league is the Heathens, but we really held them up at the semi-finals of the Uganda Cup, and I feel like their pack has weakened a bit, and we are getting stronger. By that, I feel like we are going to win the league, and I don't think Black Pirates can really do anything to us that we've done, and you know how the season starts. But as time goes by, I feel like we are going to play well and win this league. I don't know. I know you are a Pirates player and fan. I don't know if you can place a bet. Probably we can come back at the end of the season and we see who wins it all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that would be a good way to start the season, by placing a few bets to determine who would win. But the two title challengers that he has mentioned, Cobs and Pirates, are facing off against each other in the other match at Kings Park. The Black Pirates leading 19-13 against Heathens. Probably, Josh, you'll be having a smile on your face that the Pirates, who you feel you can handle, are leading against the team that you fear. But individual affiliations aside, this is a season that's going to be one to look forward to, given that it's probably the teams in the top three from last season were even much closer in the Uganda Cup. Heathens having to be lucky by a coin toss to go progress into the final, and then they needed 2 kicks in extra time to clinch the Uganda Cup. And then even when you look closer to the bottom at the table, Impis, Rhinos, Rams, it's getting more competitive, and I think every game will be mattering in this year. Quick restart there from the Cobs by Karim Marinaito, but he's off the mark. Cobs, as has been from the start of the game and as was expected even way before that, they needed to dominate, and they are dominating in the scrummage. It's one of the sure ways to win the game and dominate it, but one thing the scrummage does is it bites down on the clock. Ogena finding Munyani running in that gap between the 10 and the centers. Now long ball out, quickly recycled by the backs onto Semwami, but he has lost that forward agonizingly. Josiah Sempeke had Ibrahim Kemis closer to him. It was a 3v2 situation that could have been turned into a sure 2v1 situation, but the try scoring opportunity has gone begging. They have the penalty though for that offside advantage against the Barbarians. Munyani, the Cobs are shaping up on both ends of the pitch, but the captain on the day calls for the scrummage. Whoa! What a reception by Shakim Sembusi to Pius Ogena. That will be going into one of his best rugby moments. He carries the number 8 back in that contact, but the Cobs were able to recycle, and Karim Arinaitwe, who has converted 2 tries, was able to dive in the corner and score Cobs' 3rd try. Wow, well, this is something that is not much to celebrate, but against the team that have won more championships than you have won top flight games, a tackle against one of their top performers is something that you will be celebrating, as Karim Arinaitwe hands the kicking duties away to Josiah Sempeke, kicking from the left side with his left foot. The tightest of angles, cannot get tighter than this, but he will be attempting to slot this through from about 45 meters away. Sempeke's effort is just short. The direction was perfect. Perhaps he needed to add more power in that kick. And so the score stays at 19-0 for the Cobs against the Barbarians. Bob Kawanda is going to be doing a lot of kicking duties today. Simon Makombi, with some support from Collins Chimbo, is able to regather that restart. Now Ogena to Jude Juko, and then a tip-on pass, Sol Chivumbi. The big man is running and finds some space behind the gain line. And now shaping up on the outside, long pass by Derek Kwasibwe, finds Karim Arinaitwe. The young man has learned how to run with purpose and power. Collins Chimbo, a tip-on to Pius Ogena. Usually it is the other way around. The small man feeds the big man. But Cobs have found innovative ways to get it done. Now Ibrahim Kemis to Humphrey Olauna. The switch for Daudi Semwami. Semwami bumping off 2 of the men attempting to bring him down. Jude Juko. Dummy and into contact. Quick ball for Sol Chivuk, for Collins Chimbo, a tip-on pass, beautiful from the Cobs. Pius Ogena offloading to Josiah Sempeke. This will be a beautiful try by the Cobs, and Joseph Aredo tips it on to Karim Arinaitwe to complete his double. 40 meters of play from the Cobs. They have hit one edge, recycled, hit the other edge, and the space was created for Karim Arinaitwe to score an easy touchdown and extend their lead to 24 points to 0. Josiah Sempeke will be attempting to slot this one through and add the extras.
The scoreboard is there. Yes, and that's the thing. They converted 3. You were 12. Yes, they scored a try. You came to 17. Did they convert? They did. That's 17, so plus 5. 22. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this one. It looks like it was going in, but it just sailed wide. And the score will stay as is.
It's 24. They've scored. Did they convert here? No. They've scored 3 tries. Because we were 12. They've scored 3 tries, 15. They've scored 4 tries, 20. Plus 2 conversions, yes. 20, yes, 2 conversions.
Bob Kawanda this time going to the deep end, finds Ibrahim Kemis. There's appeals for him to give it to the backs to play, but he has gone for the safer option with that exit kick. First line out for the Barbarians. Edward Emiemu, who started 2 games for Uganda in the Rugby Africa Under-20 Batch Trophy last year, did well at the throw, but let's see how he will be able to perform against a more experienced, and we should say an older team. He throws it, beautiful throw to the number 6. The Walukuba Barbarians are able to retain possession. They shuffle it quickly to the winger, cutting back inside is Isaiah Lukman. But Ian Munyani was the first at that breakdown, and he has earned the turnover for the Cobs. Quick restart by Aredo. Karim Ainaito losing that ball. Did he lose it forwards? No, he didn't. It was well gathered by Sempeke, and now recycled. Simon Makumbi, big carry to Kwasibwe again. Twisting and turning, but finally brought to the floor. And Emiemo comes to the rescue of the Barbarians with that turnover. Kwasibwe isolated and giving away that easy pick for Emiemo, and Bob Kawanda really should have and could have found more territory. But the Barbarians now have a line out just outside the 22. Emiemo threw a beautiful one to the number 6 jumper. Let's see if Cobs will react to that. It's another good line out from the Barbarians. They have done their homework here today. Aggressive as they need to be today in that phase of play. Some ground for the Barbarians to cover. It's a loose ball, anyone's ball in this chase. Semwami is the first to arrive, puts it to the boot again. It will roll into touch. The Barbarians have gained over 50 meters with that phase of play from that turnover by Emiemo, who then threw a good line out at the number 2. And then using that kicking game, they were able to gain some precious meters and make their first possession in the Cobs half. As it stands at Kings Park, we shall be keeping an eye on this one because it's getting as close as ever. Pirates extended their lead to 24, but Heathens have clawed their way back in through Chris Lubanga. No, Chris Lubanga missing out on the conversion to get them even closer, but the score as it stands is 24-18 to the Black Pirates, as we saw the Rhinos also getting their points on the board. They are trailing the Buffaloes by 7 points to 5. And in Ginger, it is Hippos 10 to Hippos to Impis. Impis is 6. The try by the Heathens was scored by Norbert Okeni. Scrum feed for the Barbarians, but they are bulldozed away from the ball by the Cobs. Joseph Aredo has Munyani on his outside, commits and passes. Munyani commits and passes again. Semwami leaves Kawanda on the floor, but also leaves the ball into the hands of the Barbarians. It's bounced into touch for a line out. Back where all this phase of play started, just outside the Cobs 22. Walukuba Barbarians, to my surprise, and I think to the surprise of many, are putting up quite a fight against the more experienced side, the Cobs, who have not shaped up in their best strength, but they have put their best foot forward to start the campaign on a high note. They already have the bonus point, but the score should have stretched even further by this point. Credit to the boys from Ginger for how they are performing, and hopefully they will be able to play as well as they did in the regional championships. Pius Ogena. Makumbi not able to gather, but it's found by Josiah Sempeke. And now Ian Munyani straightening to Karim. There's a couple of forward passes that were thrown by the star-studded Cobs backline. I think that was that final pass by Ibrahim Kemis to Karim Arinaitwe, which was not able to pass Gonzalo Mayanja's test of accuracy and legality. The problem is it's within a score.
You just need one try.
No, they just need to score.
Okay, they just need a try.
Some joy here as Josh is receiving a non-stop requests from his peers and friends to send some regards to them on the broadcast. And I think if there's the last thing that I would love to do, probably one thing that I will be happy to do, even when it might cost me my role here on commentary, is to give Josh Mirondo this chance to send some regards to Mirakoko Wantubo.
I'm sending my regards to Bakshia Suman, a Hippos fan who failed to make it to Ginger, but is here supporting Walukuba. But unfortunately, we are humiliating Walukuba badly. And my regards to Natasha. Thanks for coming. It's my first time seeing you at a Cobs game. I don't know what brought her here, but I'm glad that she joined the winning side. Thank you so much, Anis.
Bakshi is one of the most loyal fans of Ugandan sport. He is more popular in the basketball arena, but a huge fan of the teams from Jinja. He wasn't able to travel across the Nile to support the Hippos, but he has made it a point to come and support the Barbarians. And is sporting his local team kit from the Hippos. That was Hippos' home kit, and probably only kit in the 15th season. The Ginger Hippos have unleashed a new kit with Giordano and Stings, and their game against the Impis will probably in the future be known as the Giordano/Stings Derby, as Impis as well have a new kit, a beautiful pink kit that they will be playing in for this season. Fumbled play in the middle there after the line out. Infringements from both teams, but the first was committed by Josiah Sempeke. The ball hit his forehead, I thought, but Gonzalo Mayanja thinks it was by his hands, so that will be a penalty. That will be a scrum down, rather, for the Barbarians. Straight off the boot and into touch, and that will be the last piece of action in this first half. It's a one-sided affair on the scoreboard, Cobs leading 24-0, but on the pitch, the Barbarians, newly promoted side, playing against the second most successful team in this championship. They've put up a good fight that they will be looking to build on after the break. Thanks for joining us here on Kaowo Sports for this broadcast of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League. We will be back after the 10 minutes of regulation halftime.
Kweli.
No otagisikanya nira Steven oli mu 27 dB okuba otyo 27 dB ND filters satu
nakaziteekamu sikulimba
byoza ziringa ND ye sliding bika screen hiyo katika ujio katika ukasajili kupata samaji na samora chitomba na sigara go alione hizo performance aina bikwa kwa tunaba
samoba basi
especially on my camera big because of why they know better creating kasera why
just giving out so when problem wali masana really extension ikatota utade mutaiti webana badduka mu frame bawe breathing room
why kuti yasindikira message na namba mzewe yafanya accident na nenye kopo message zengira rero ku macha
so kumpa bali aba wala premium
nibo batudde wabibwe bakubye emigongo simanyi kindala biko buge